Welcome, guys. It is the Bad Wolf, and once again, welcome to Bad Wolf. Everything unincorporated, non-federal, non-state, unincorporated associations. Let's get going, my privateers, my wonderful people. Today, we're going to be talking about something, and don't mind me, I'm a little bit wet, a little bit sweaty. I was running through the sprinkler. Well, not really running through it, but adjusting it. So, because it's hot in the mofo outside, dog. It's hot in a bit. Okay. So let's take a look at what we have going on. What is that? Oh, yeah. Trump and his birthright citizenship scenario. Wow. Let's take a look at what is going the going zones is. How does it affect you? What does this mean to our country, our nation, everything that we were founded and built on? There's a lot of hypocrisy going on. Anyways, let's take a gander at some things. Okay, so we're gonna kind of jump around, jump up to get down. As always, guys, blessings to each and every one of you guys, my beautiful, wonderful, intelligent people out there. Let's take a gander. Um, okay, there we are. Out there. Share. All right. So, as you can see over here, there's a lady by the name of Nancy who is a congresswoman, and she just proposed this. But let's take a look at how just because you guys don't know what's going on doesn't mean that they don't know what's going on, but they don't talk about it. It's the best kept secret. Only certain people at Diddy's house knew what was really going on. Only certain people got to wear the white shoes. Only certain people got to be allowed to stay. Well, ain't nothing changes but the day it is across the whole platform, across the world. So let's see what she's got to say. She goes, "We introduced a constitutional amendment to clarify the 14th Amendment. A person born in the United States is subject to the jurisdiction thereof." Does that sound kind of familiar when what I've been talking about? Of the United States and eligible for citizenship only if at least one parent is a U.S. citizen, a U.S. national, or a lawful permanent resident. Mm. It's like the can of worms has been shaken up because now look, a U.S. national is being mentioned. Interesting. And really, if she were to look up the 8 USC 1401, it already says this information. But what it doesn't say, I understand, it already says this, but the loophole is this: children of illegal immigrants will no longer receive an automatic citizenship simply by being born on American soil. Because as it is right now, this is why we do the passport the way we do, is because if even one of your parents is a national, you can be a national. But if you claim on the passport one of them's a citizen, then they make the passport citizen based. We have the ability to choose. What's not said in 8 USC 1401 is what if illegal immigrants, both parents are illegal, but the kid is born here. In the old days, this, which is why it's still okay right now, was a common law known thing. If you were physically born here, regardless of the scenario, you are. So to me, it's a little funny how they're going back and forth on these issues because, you know, One is saying it's not written that exact way, and that's true. It does not specifically, nor does it say illegal immigrants with their kid. But it has always been known that if you were born here, you have right to citizenship because your birthright place is here. So what they're doing is they want to clarify this. They don't want illegal immigrants coming here, their kids being born here, then their kids can stay here. But yet at the same time, a lot of these people love immigrants and the work they do. Most of the people arguing this, their parents were immigrants here. Ask the Native Americans. So it's do as I say, not as I do. We cannot continue to allow this systematic or systemic abuse of the Constitution at the expense of the American people. Well, if they were protecting the borders properly, this it wouldn't be out rampant. And I'll tell you what, it's not like they're talking about the Canadians who come through and do this. They're talking about the people on the southern border coming here and doing this. But I digress. Constitutional amendment to end birthright citizenship. It clarifies a person born in the United States is only subject to the United States jurisdiction of the United States and eligible for citizenship if at least one parent is a U.S. citizen, a U.S. national, or a permanent lawful resident. Funny how they never brought up U.S. national until now. They have to take a look at all of the law. And oh, I guess we have to just throw this. See, they had to throw this in here. You don't hear them normally talking about the national. She ain't never mentioned nothing about being a national. But now that we're examining the law and they have agendas here to keep certain ones out, certain ones in, to put a control mechanism on that faucet, they had no choice but to mention the U.S. national. What it means is children of illegal immigrants will no longer receive automatic citizenship simply by being born on the soil. They have to go through the pipeline. It's a control mechanism, good people. If they really felt this way, really this would have been done since day one. They knew what this was since day one because they did it. I guarantee if you look, matter of fact, 100%. If you look back in her family history, her people came over here as illegal immigrants. Ask the Native Americans. I'm not dogging her. I'm saying just look at the whole picture. That's all I'm saying. I don't take sides. I don't need to. I'm just walking on the razor blade or the gangway between both and saying, okay, hold on, let's take a look. Let's take a look at it. Look. That's all. Let's get back to it. Jump over. Red Rover, Red Rover. Yeah, all that good jazz. Let's go. Okay. So the Supreme Court of the United States, the Centrari before judgment of the United States Court of Appeals, First Circuit, blase, 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 argued on April 1st, 26, and decided June 30th, 26. The question presented is whether the Constitution guarantees citizenship to children born in the United States of parents who are unlawfully or temporarily present in the country. Under the Citizenship Clause of the 14th Amendment, all persons born, that says all persons, it doesn't say this, that, or the other, illegal or whatever else. So this is where she wants clarification. But it already says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state and wherein they reside. So this tells you right here, there's two things going on here, good people. A citizen of the United States really means all of them, all of the types of citizenship. But because the cake is muddied, this really means the 14th Amendment types. This is a double entendre. Citizens of the United States means the 14th Amendment U.S. citizen, but that's where they're taking away some of your rights, freedoms, and liberties. So to say you're a citizen of the United States is to mean two things. It's double entendre. It means you can be a 14th Amendment U.S. citizen, or you can be one of the others in the sack. But if you're in the sack with them, you're just as dirty. You're not singled out. Because then it goes on to say, and of the state wherein they reside. Why would they say this part too? Because this is where the state citizenship is singled out as a national. Otherwise, they would just say you're all citizens of the United States and that's it. But they didn't. The court said, and of the state wherein they reside. What state do you reside in? The Republic, Floridians, Florida State, the organic. They recognize both of these as two different things. Sure, the citizen of the state, the national, they're also can be included in citizens of the state, the big happy family, but then there's also the separate by themselves. Because here they're not stating what is a citizen of the United States. Okay, federal citizen, 14th Amendment citizen, statutory, territorial. They're not breaking all that down because that's all everybody's lumped into that one. But the separate, where all of your rights and freedoms as their boss comes from, we the people, is this part, and of the state wherein they reside. On January 20th, 2025, President Trump issued an executive order, which executive orders are only supposed to be done in times of war. So, what is that about? Because all of the presidents before him, including him, and etc., who all of you guys, I like Trump, I like Obama, I like la la la. Well, guess what? All that they were doing to maintain their power, to basically do whatever they wanted to do, which is not what it was meant to do or for, is they maintained and re signed that we're at war. This is why we're always at war, so they can do executive orders trying to usurp our constitutional rights by whatever they feel like. This is bullshit. Don't get me wrong, some good things have come out of it, and y'all can be like, oh, well, Obama was better. Trump's a fuck up. Obama's a fuck up. They both have done good and bad things. They're both not 100% for us, the regular state citizen and national. They're not. They've done good and horrible things. But let's move on. Titled Protecting the Meaning and Value of American Citizenship. The order provides that children born in the United States of parents who are unlawfully or temporarily present here are not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States and thus do not qualify for citizenship. So, what he wanted to do is to create an executive order that abridged the 14th Amendment, where it says anybody. From their perspective, they want to say, well, let's clarify this. I mean, all persons born here, can we just like not? And I get what they're saying. They don't want everybody and their mother taking a trip here, crossing the border illegally, and then going, oh, hey, baby, oh, kid's born here. Ha ha. Well, our kid's born here, so we have some right to be here. They they've known about this since all of them have known. But now they want to use it as a political piece and put a faucet on it, to which I understand. But they were not so, at least in this round, they were not so convincing as to tell the Supreme Court and then the Supreme Court to agree, because the Supreme Court is supposed to be, gentlemen, on the American people side as far as what's best to interpret what's best for us, not the corporation executing executive orders. The P resident, the resident, the public resident, the public resident. Several parents filed suit, some in the name of their children, arguing that the executive order violates the 14th Amendment. And the courts agreed because, as it's written, this is valid. And even if not, legally, they would be grandfathered in because you're just changing it now. provisionally certified a nationwide class of children who would be denied citizenship by that order and preliminarily enjoined the order's enforcement. This court granted the certiorari before judgment. It's kind of funny because my girlfriend's ex-boyfriend, Dick Sucker, no offense to people who like to do that, just saying he is, who doesn't like me, didn't believe, doesn't like me, but want to be just like me, didn't want to even believe in anything that I'm doing or talking about until this problem hit his family. Oh, la ti da. Nobody likes Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer until suddenly he's got a use. But hey, Playboy, with your little Willie, I've had a use the entire time. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. And I still decided to help by giving good advice to her to relay to him. And I said, sit tight. What he's doing is unconstitutional. The court held that children born in the United States to parents unlawfully or temporarily present are subject to the jurisdiction. Yeah, you're on our property. We have some jurisdiction over to you. You are somewhat subject while here, period. And are citizens at birth under the 14th Amendment. The citizenship clause must be understood in light of its historical context. From the English common law, once again, the courts don't like it. The common law still exists. It's within you. Common sense, common law marriage. You do what you want to do. This comes from the common law, that which makes sense. The commoner's law. We have our own law as commoners. To the widespread condemnation of the court's decision in Dred Scott versus Sanford. The president cannot just do anything he wants. The corporation cannot just do anything. They get away with a lot of things because you guys don't know your rights. My girl's ex-boyfriend doesn't know his own rights. There's people and family who came here don't know the rights. But oh Lord, he got shook up. Oh Lordy, oh Lordy. Let me call somebody. Let me call my ex-girlfriend that I treated like shit. And I don't take care of my kids. Let me go and ask her because that negra that I don't like, he been knowing some of that stuff. That's how I got famous with everybody. Now suddenly I'm the kung fu master, kung fu grip, opposable thumb. The president can only do certain things through executive order, but that executive order is for wartime. This is why we're always and still yet at war with people because the American people haven't said, "Hey, shouldn't we be done with war? Can we just be at peacetime? Where's our peace flag? Why aren't we like chill out? Well, can we just focus on shit here? Why are we policing the world?" And don't get me wrong, we have gone around the world and we have helped out numerous countries, but at the same time, that came with a little hand in the puppet. We gave them some freedom, then we also then gave them some Starbucks and McDonald's and signed this paperwork and the Hague Convention, and hey, you guys got some nice oil, so it comes with a price. But understand this: America is also a puppet of the people who control us too, and that's something that the world needs to know. Oh, looks like they're hacking my feet a little bit. Hold on, guys. It's going to be a little dreamy right now. The resources in my computer are slowing down at the good spot. And we're back. So, just as the United States of America, or excuse me, the United States Ergo, people think we Americans, and those are two separate things. The United States, a corporation, is pimping out the world, but those people across the big pond who are pimping us out get to sit back and pull the strings. Meanwhile, your lower level judges, your police officers, etc., are none the wiser. But if they really sat down and realized what they were doing, there's a lot of treasonous aspects that they're involved in. And don't get me wrong, it's not a perfect system, so we're definitely not going to fix any of this overnight. And I'm not saying that all officers or judges or magistrates or whatever are all treasonous. A lot of them just don't know. That's why it's also funny when other citizens out there and ex-boyfriends, D-bags, want to, say things about me. One, you can't whoop my ass. Number two, um, you're not as smart as me. Number three, you don't know what's going on. How comfy we sit in our chairs when we think that the world is our oyster. But man, the CVD-19 and birthright citizenship, all these little things pop up, and suddenly people start questioning their rights. This ain't right. It hurts. And make the bad man go away when it's time to research your rights. I was the only one sitting back with my apple in hand going, sit tight. It's going to be a little shisty for a second, but it'll balance out because it's already been written about. Now, if it's to the point where the Supreme Court says, you know what, we should entertain that issue, we're going to change it. It also then involves the American people. Do we feel that that needs to be changed? See, the Supreme Court justices, federal judge, all these people involved, president, whatever, they're not asking the American people. This is our shit. They're only supposed to be the trustees for it, but because we don't know how to stand up and we're sitting back with our American fat asses, hey, I just want more Krispy Kreme and more of that there French fries, deep fried. Let them worry about all that. We're just beneficiaries, but we're also the guarantors. We're the ones who can change it. They work for us. If I owned a Burger King and I, as owner, did not show up, that Burger King, as long as my managers are in place, especially, is going to run just fine. Odd. So you're saying, Wolf, if we didn't have a president or some of these things, most of our system would work just fine? Yep. But we do need some checks and balances like law enforcement, whatever else. I just wish they would take my paperwork seriously and go and arrest my son's mother, and the courts would work appropriately. You're supposed to be able to file a complaint, especially when it's a felony. What is that called? Felony of misprison? Anybody you report a felony to who does not then there act upon it becomes party to the felony, kind of like the courts in California and in my state and the law enforcement here and all the other agencies I've reported this to who have not done anything about it repeatedly being filed. Huh. It's like I'm not getting my American rights, my national rights. And oh, by the way, for those officers out there who said, oh, well, Mr. Lovett, I thought you renounced your citizenship. See, to renounce your citizenship, you have to do it in front of a judge and pay a fee or be at an embassy. An affidavit doesn't suffice. It's a formal statement, but it's not a formal executed operation until it's done in front of a judge or an embassy. It has to be done in front of an official with the power. So I still have my citizenship when I choose to use it. God bless America. Let's take a look at one last thing. Children born in the U.S. are American. Supreme Court rules dealing a major blow to Trump in landmark birthright citizenship case. Matter of fact, I'm going to text my lady and send that to her so she can send it to her ex, Dick. Oh, it's the recording. Hello. I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned. There's more coming your way.